Hello everyone, I'm back today with another process video. I am doing 6x8 pocket pages and I'm featuring photos from my time in Austria right now. This is when I was in Salzburg. It's my first layout from Mirabell Gardens, and this is actually Mirabell Palace or Castle. And this postcard, I cannot believe I actually found this, and it was the perfect size. It's actually 6x8, but it shows many elements of Salzburg. And at the bottom it has Panorama Tours, Sound of Music Tour, and we actually did that. So there will be photos coming of that. So I just loved it that it had this, it had Mirabell, it had some extra things from around Salzburg in the background. And so I bought that, and it's gonna work perfectly. I probably won't do a lot with it other than maybe put a couple of phrases on it. I've already pulled the yellow because I know I want to work some yellow in here. So I'll have to find something that is appropriate and maybe a little embellishment or two, not much because it's so busy. And then on this side, really I'm just adding little things to the photos and that's it. Again, it's a very busy, and this is a page style that I don't use a lot. I have some of these and I've really been trying to use them up whenever I see photos where I could maybe cut them up into pieces. These worked great because they're just photos from around the garden. So I have different flowers. This is actually the same photo. I just cut it down into smaller pieces. And these two might be the same photo too. I don't remember exactly, but they might be. So I just cut 2x2 pieces that would fit in there. And then I had this perfect photo of the sign. So I have that in there as well. Definitely will need to add something to that because it's kind of boring just the way it is. I have picked out this background paper for this square, and I want to find a floral element to put on it that will match. I just don't have that picked out yet. And then I need something for here. I know I want it to be a square, like a pocket card that has writing on it, some kind of phrase, something like that, not just a plain background like this, but I don't have it at the ready yet. So I need to work on these two things especially. I think I have found a flower element that will work. It's a little larger than the 2x2 pocket, but I'll put it on and then I'll just cut off the edges. But I like that it brings in some of the shades of pink that are around here and just brings in a nice color element next to all of that bright yellow. So I think I'm going to go with that one. Haven't found anything for this or for this yet, so I'm still working on that. So I have adhered the flower, and it looks kind of plain. I'm trying to keep things as flat as possible whenever I can because I know I'm going to have to fit a lot of layouts in this album, so I can't have too much bulk in there. So rather than adding something that would be a raised element, I think what I'm going to do is take my sparkly silver metallic gel pen and do some outlining on here so that it brings in a nice glittery element, but it doesn't add any layers. Okay, I'm hoping the camera is going to pick this up fairly well, but I'm not sure. I have added the sparkle there. I think it's grabbing that a little bit. So you can see I added it all around the border of the white area. And then I just selectively put in some around the pink areas, just little bits to highlight. And then I think that will add a nice little bit of sparkle to the pocket so that when you're flipping the pages, it'll catch your eye a little bit. So I have that done. I also think I have found the card that I'm going to put in here. And it says, no place I'd rather be. Explore, wander, document, adventure, capture, journey. And it's in a darker green. So that fits perfectly with the garden theme that we have going here. So I think I am going to use that. Again, it feels a little boring, so I'm not sure if I can add something to that to just bring it more to life. I don't know, but I've got to work on that. Need to find something still to add to this, and then maybe something to the top up here. So when I was off camera, I was looking more closely at this postcard and I noticed something that I didn't notice before. So all of this looks like Europe, right? This is all specific to Salzburg here. It even says city of Salzburg, right? But then all of a sudden you get Paris, you know, because they're saying you're going to cross the channel, whatever. And then there's New York up here. And I'm like, well, in Miami, that doesn't really fit. So in order to kind of take maybe some of the emphasis off of that, I am considering pulling out these bad boys. These geotags are ginormous. I love them, but they're ginormous, and that's why I haven't busted into them yet. But I'm thinking, look at all the yellow in here, that I could take this big one and put it over New York. And then hopefully it'll draw the eye away from the corner. You won't really notice this. You'll see that big geotag, and then the eye will be led downward, and you'll just see the stuff about Salzburg. So that's my hope anyway. I'm going to try it and just hope that it goes well. I've attached the geotag, and I love it. I'm glad I did it, so I'm definitely leaving that. One thing to note, if you buy these are from Pretty Little Studio. They're from the Let's Go line. It's an older one, but I think they do still carry it. But if you were to buy these, the middles here, they do pop out. I chose to leave that in there because I wanted it completely covered. I didn't want those buildings and that man climbing the building. I didn't want that peeking through there. So I just chose to leave it on there. But I do like that. I think the yellow does help because it really brings in those flowers from this side. So I am pleased with that. And that might be all I do with that one. I might just leave it alone because I want the postcard to shine. And then that still leaves me with what to do on this side. So I have found two things that I think will work here. One of them is this. It's the little flag that says Magic Moments. And it's pretty close to this darker pink, and it brings some more of that in. So I think that will probably go right there. And then in my other stash of just travel tidbits, I found this. And it says, one of these days, I'm going to go on vacation and forget to come back. Now, I don't need all of this up here, but I think I'm going to cut off the phrase and use it on top. And I'm going to see if I can just layer it right over part of this geotag or perhaps tuck it under if it'll fit. But I think I want to use it somewhere up here to bring in the pink, but then also cover up that Miami part. I've cut down the phrase, but it still doesn't fit the way I want it to fit. I don't like how much it overlaps so far into the geotag. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down even further, probably in like 4 pieces, and then stack them, which I think will work a lot better. So this is what I ended up doing with the phrases. I cut it in 4 pieces and attached them over that corner so you can barely see an M and an I, but most people aren't going to notice that. They'll look at it quickly, they'll read the words, and they'll move on. So I'm happy with the way that that came out, and I am definitely still going to attach this over here, but I still need something else. When I was off camera, I did a couple of things. The first thing was I added to this photo, so I had the Magic Moments phrase on there, and then I added this sticker with the yellow and orange flowers. I thought that worked very well with the yellow I have here, here, and then there's orange down here and here. Figured that would be okay. Then when I was looking at it, originally this pink flower was here, and it was bugging me. I didn't like that it was directly across from this pink. So again, in order to get a little bit more of a visual triangle, I moved the photos around. Now the pink is down here. So I have a pretty decent visual triangle. I have pink, pink, pink. Then I also decided for that card that was up here, I decided to add a little bit of greenery and flowers to that as well, just to go with that garden feel. So I added those, and just to show you here, all of these stickers came out of this sticker book from Me and My Big Ideas. This is the seasonal pack. So if you're looking for that, that's where I got those. And I think that this one is done. Let me put that in the pocket there. Make sure that's in there securely. And so that's what it'll look like in the album. And I think I'm going to call that one good. Thanks for watching, everyone.